Welcome everybody. Okay, most artists, you know, when they have exhibitions, they invite somebody famous to come along and open it. But Iseult asked me, and we're related. Like her dad Colin is my first cousin, so I've known her forever and ever and ever. And I always thought of her as a kind of a flighty little young one with a bit of an interest in the arts. And how wrong can you be? I didn't discover until COVID happened. And as you know, COVID was waxing and waning. And at one of the stages when it was waning, Maeve here, Iseult's mother, showed me these scarves that Iseult was making. And I thought, oh, do you know, they'd be nice Christmas presents. So I went up to the house to have a look at them. And as I was up there, we got into chat and we were talking, and I realised, this isn't a flighty little young one. This is a highly intelligent, well-educated young woman with loads of experience and knowledge and interest. And I thought, oh, wow. And then she also had pictures on the wall that she had painted. And I'm looking at them and thinking, this isn't just a little talent, you know. This is a real artist working and learning and finding out and developing her art. So from then on, we began to sort of see one another more often. We decided to do a project together, and COVID was coming and going. Some of the time we had to meet down at the seafront, 6 feet apart. Other times we'd meet in one of those houses or whatever. And all during that time we talked about life, the universe and all that. And we talked about the difficulties of trying to produce something from nothing, because that's what all artists do. I write sheet paints. And while we were having these discussions, at one point she said to me that COVID was the best thing that ever happened to her in her life. And I'm thinking, what? Are you insane? But no, she's not insane. She's very sensible. It turned out that because of the COVID, she couldn't go to work, and she was able to devote herself full-time, morning, noon, night, to her art. And she began to feel, oh, maybe, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could do this all day, every day, and nothing else? And sometimes she felt it was possible, and other times she felt, no, it's just a pipe dream. But fortunately, she then applied here to Signal to be an artist in residence, or as an artist for the place. And they accepted her. And it was of great benefit to both sides. Because I've seen Iseult in action here in the gallery. And Signal have loads of exhibitions. And I know from my own experience that sometimes you go into an art gallery and you're made feel like an ignorant bosthoon who shouldn't be in this elevated place. But that will never happen here. When people wander in, I've seen her in action. She talks to them, she engages them, she makes it easy for them, she tells them about the paintings, she discusses the ones she likes, the ones they like, and so on. So the people feel, you know, welcomed in. And of course, that's always the best way to do it if you want people to buy. But what Signal has done for her has been incredibly significant. It has supported her, it has given her feedback, it has given her information, it has given her confidence, it's given her recognition, it's looked after her. And not just the organisation, but all the people working there. And I think that has done her a power of good, and now she's beginning to see that maybe it is possible to live a life, to live an artistic life all the time. They also have given her, of course, this lovely space to have this wonderful exhibition. There are two things, and apart from Iseult the person, there are two things that impress me hugely about Iseult the artist. And the first thing is that she is constantly finding out more information about different techniques, different methods, different artists. She's constantly feeding the artist inside, giving a foundation to her own work. And she's always looking at other people's work, making contact with artists she likes. And I think this is just a very powerful way of feeding the artist's life. The second thing that she does, and I feel frankly jealous of her, is that she seems to be able to get in the zone. Now, we've all heard that phrase, get in the zone. Athletes talk about it, artists talk about it. It's when you're in there and it feels like it's not you that's doing it, it's like the universe or the angel or something are sort of working through you, and you're just merely the pen or the brush or the piece of clay or whatever. And it's the time that you get your best ideas. It's the time when you find the resolution to problems that you may have had in your work. And it's what every artist longs for and hopes for and is thrilled when it happens. But Iseult McCormack, God forgive her, she seems to be able to do it all the time. And it's not easy to do. It's beautiful and easy when you're doing it. The work just flows, lovely, grand, terrific. But to get into that state is very difficult because you need to put aside all your difficulties, all your concerns, all your the work things you have to do, all your doubts about yourself, all your insecurity, everything just has to go aside, and you have to leave yourself open to the flow, and that's more difficult to do than, well, I can't do it as often as she can. So I'm jealous, frankly. This exhibition that's on here today is Iseult's story. It's a story that she's telling. It's a story that she's telling about her lifelong love of colour and shape and form and space and how they sing together, how they work together. I sort of think of it as the joyous marimba of life. But you might think of it as something different because I don't know if you know, there's a famous Afghani writer called Indri Shah, and he says that every story has a meaning or a learning or a moral, but that the only person who knows what that learning is the listener or the reader, or in this case, the viewer. So I'd like to invite you all to go take a look at Iseult's story. Let it sink into your soul and let it give you whatever message it gives you. But before you start sort of indulging your souls, I think Iseult would like to say a word.
Thanks everyone for coming. It's amazing. It's really good. Thanks, Catherine.